Good evening, we've started the meeting at 6 o'clock. We have one member of the public in. Just have you any questions pertaining to Blythe Town Council that you would like to put forward to us? And
We should say that.
and we,
Allowed one,
you're allowed two questions.
two. But before I ask the questions, why is it going back down to two?
That's been.
It always has been.
But, well, since Reform took over, when you first started, we could ask any amount, like, it used to be even.
No, it's down to two.
Okay, then. Oh, 6, 7 weeks ago, this is not a personal one, some came up on social media. And it was. Where are the new premises of what you're looking for, new premises for the council? There was a post, whether it was right or wrong, but I never saw a reply. As the council have like sort of employed somebody at £15,000. Is that right or is it wrong?
We haven't employed anybody with regard to this project at this point in time.
Great, it's,
But
sorry,
if there was a report which is available on the website, whereby when we consider the proposal that we looked at office accommodation again, see what's more fitting for the public, etc., etc. You've got to recognise, which the members did, that the limited staff here haven't got the architectural, structural, building surveying, quantity surveying skill. So it may well be that, depending on the outcome of the working group, which a recommendation will be going to council for them to consider, depending on which route we go down, if we go down it, we may have to bring in professional expertise. And you've got to be realistic, and we'll have to put a budget in just to make members aware that they might have to be faced with having to employ somebody because of skills that we haven't got.
yeah, I mean, it's just that there was no reply on the social media. Now, I'd say that question again, that they sat and say, well, this is what the council have said.
Yeah, I mean, that was in the report, actually, Paul.
It's just, I mean, I think it was back in 2019, this proposal came up once before. But one of the councillors had been like sort of asked if they would take on like sort of looking for premises in Blythe, where let's face it, the town centre is not that big. We all know like sort of how many premises are left in the town centre and what would be suitable for the council. I mean, we've got a new like sort of hub there, and as far as that, I'm not sure it's like sort of 1 or 2 times it's been used, but the auditorium is never used. I mean, so
If I can go back to the first bit, whoever's provided you with that information about a councillor, yeah, that's completely wrong. There's no truth in that at all.
well, it's just a little bit of information I've got left up on my brain.
Well, it's
From
completely,
like some of the meetings I've attended.
no, it's there was no councillor, and that wouldn't be a very, very wise move on behalf of the council to do that.
No, it was identify premises, not choose a premise. It was to identify premises in the town centre.
Sure.
We've done that now. I mean,
Great,
we've got to take the knowledge of people on the ground. We've looked at potential properties. Ideas have come from the floor about potential properties, but that's all they are, ideas. And the members will, confirm this. The officers do the work to filter out the wheat from the chaff, if you like, what's suitable and what isn't. And that's the way that we'll be driving the officer accommodation work group.
brilliant, can't wait. I've been pressing on this for nearly 10 years now. We should not be in this building.
Well, that'll be up to the members to decide after we do the evaluation.
Great.
Yeah.
Council on this.
Can I just come in on that? There was never ever a councillor put onto looking at premises.
Well,
What what was made up was a working group from the council. And that was all councillors were on that working group to go to say, have a look at their properties. Where we looked at banks, we looked at the old pubs, and nothing was coming up structural. So it's been brought back around. So now there's still that working group there, and as Malcolm rightly said, if it has to come to that, to make sure everything's structural, then that there might come in somebody in.
Really well, like, so
But
it's like
it's not been the
2019,
same.
there were lots of premises in 2019.
Yes, that all were.
Do you have a second question, Paul? No? Okay, well, we have no.
Oh, go on then.
Oh, go in.
I think we've discussed this one before. The finish off in the marketplace. I think I pointed it out here. I just wondering if there was anything like sort of coming down the line on it, or those cement squares, they're not granite blocks, they're just cement squares. Spoils the finish.
Yeah, there's tarmac squares as well on
Yeah,
the,
that's right.
on the footways as well. It doesn't look very good.
Yeah,
I'm not happy with it, the finish. You pay for good materials and good workmanship. And then the slightest crack in the pavement and they pull the pavement slab and stick a bit of, tarmac in and flatten it off. And they think that's all right, but for me, it's not all right. Like, I don't really like that type of attitude and finish in a job, The concrete on the marketplace, we have got the new training centre that's going to get built, and there's going to be an alleyway between the training centre
but that's not part of
and the pavilion. So maybe they might get out and do a little bit of repair there. I don't know.
it. That should never have been signed off, to be honest. I mean, you've got
Council.
that was signed off as I mean, it's gonna come back down the NCC, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a county
Really.
council matter, yeah.
I mean, and none of this council, as our representatives, get on to county council and say, look that this marketplace is not fit, as you say, for purpose. We've got jobs not finished. Why isn't it? Or at least I cannot see why a new building that's already boarded up, the Lane Morgans, that side of the marketplace has got nothing to do with that side. You cannot match them in. It'll just be a continuation of the marketplace, if anything. So why leave the concrete and the tarmac stuff?
Yeah, the finish isn't very good. Like, maybe as a town council, with all of us, we're requesting to get things tied.
Our town, isn't it?
Our town, the end of the day. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Okay, right, we'll move on to the agenda. Apologies for absence.
Councillor Elliott, Barry Elliott.
Councillor Van Mersken.
Any disclosure of interest in grant of dispensations?
None being prevented.
None. Here we have a amazing announcement here, outstanding fella. I haven't got the chains on to take, so I'm not suited about it, so anyway, a thank you goes out to Blythe Town Council staff for support and achievements in 2025, along with the support from our Deputy Mayor and elected town councillors that make up chairs, vice chairs and committee members, all the partnership officers and street team. Things noted for improvement in 2026, we want the best we can offer. Statistics show the biggest complaints were weeds and grass cutting. Also, we see a rise in fly tipping in the area. Meetings have taken place in the chamber to push for a better service for our residents. We will try and deliver this and keep pushing for a better delivery and service. Cameras and better street lighting in parts of Blythe have been requested. We will deliver and request this through County Council. More police presence in areas that are known hotspots happening now. We got invited one early morning to those councillors to a briefing which saw over 40 police officers briefed on Operation Impact. We've received today the results were absolutely fantastic, and there'll be more operations coming up in the future. Where are we? I'm going to skip a lot of it because I've got a lot of this wrote down. For myself, thank you for this opportunity and delivering it. We look towards a positive future for all. Where are we? And a big thank you to Heritage Dealers that just fixed the base chains at no cost. You know, Blythe's looking at the positive now. You know, the positives is you can see the change and footfall. We hope be a lot better in the future. I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go to agenda 4, and that's the minutes of the special council meeting held on the 25th of November 2025. To agree the minutes as a true record.
Great.
Great. Thank you very much. Agenda 5, actions arising from previous minutes. The play area, SAND, and the partnership agreement. Do we agree on this one? Or
Can I just Leon will give an update on the play areas. If I can request that I don't give the partnership agreement update in this particular part of the agenda because it has some financial implications. So I'd rather do that in agenda item 10 when we come to set the budget. And we've also recently got an office accommodation which I'd like to add in, which Hannah can present.
yeah,
Brilliant.
brilliant.
The Environment Committee and Council agreed to pursue investigating an inclusive play area and also the review of all of our existing play areas. Officers have been working on draft consultation documents aimed at children and at parents and carers. However, we did know our limited experience and expertise in SEND matters, so we contacted the Northumberland Parent Carer Forum, of which one of the directors is actually based in Blyth. I had a very positive meeting with them, and they are currently writing proposals for them doing the consultation, rewriting the consultation I presented them with, because they did have some amendments to it, and also for them to conduct the consultation, which would give it an element of independence, that we can then be presented with the results. I'm awaiting the proposals coming in, and they should be here in the next week, I would say. They are also going to write a proposal for reviewing our existing play areas, and again, it gives us the element of having an independent opinion, a knowledgeable independent opinion on what is reasonable in terms of inclusive play within the neighbourhood play areas. So we await further information on that. Thank you.
The partnership agreement.
That's it. I would prefer to discuss it in agenda
Oh,
item 10 event.
Thank you, Chair. Following the resolution to explore alternative office accommodation, councillors generated a list of 8 properties for which thank you. Inquiries have been made, and that has identified that 2 of that list are unavailable. That leaves 6 of those. We've been told it's possible to look at viewing for 5. For the remaining property, we're awaiting contact from the agent. He's on holiday, and hopefully next week we'll have confirmation as to whether it's available. Councillor Peart has agreed the next step should be a small group of 1 representative from each party, plus a couple of officers, visit the properties, whittling it down to 2 or 3, and that means officers can then feasibly do a more in-depth bit of research on those 2 to 3. And all councillors are welcomed onto the working group to then discuss what is found off the back of that. Any questions regarding that? Can you identify what the 5 properties are that you're talking about? Where
We can give an update in the
we
way.
give an update on?
Not in this session, if you don't mind.
All right.
It would have been a public session.
Oh, okay, that's
I
fine.
can
Yeah,
give you an
that'll be
update
fine.
in the
That's
part
fine.
2 when we're moving to that, but we're not able to at this point.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda, item 6, to agree the minutes. 6.1, Community Funding Subcommittee on the 11th of November 2025. Do we agree? Great. Thank you. 6.2, Community Development Committee, 25th of November 2025. Do we agree?
Agreed with it.
Thank you. 6.3, Environment Committee, 9th of December 2025. Do we agree the minutes?
Agreed with it.
Yes. Thank you very much. 6.4, Governance Committee, 6th of January 2026. Do we agree the minutes?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. So we'll move on to agenda 7, which is the Blythe Trust for Youth. Take notes and minutes from the Blythe Trust of Youth meeting, which took place on the 6th of January 2026, and agree the recommendations. Do we have any comments on the Blythe Trust for Youth?
Yeah, it's just been more procedural at this point in time. Once we get the procedural bits done, it then allows the trust to move forward and decide on how they're going to receive applications and determine that.
Right.
The Charities Commission, when the charity was transferred over from the previous trustee to the town council, the trustee wasn't completely updated. And we have received permission to amend the trust deed, but that needs to be agreed by the members of the trust group, which has been done. And then it needs to come to council for full agreements, and we can send off 4 copies of the minutes and the proposed amendments, and then that will enable us to set up a bank account specifically for the charity and make the charity operational again. Thank you.
Yeah. Agenda 9. No, 8, sorry. New membership proposals, to resolve the new membership proposals. The committees following December's 2025 by-election results.
We just, and no, we just do agree.
There's a notice to agree. And who's
We agree with it.
changing?
So obviously liaise with the lead councillor from each particular party in order to accommodate extra seats on the standing committees and subcommittees, which was the additional reform representative, Sir Marcus Nielsen. And all the changes have been agreed by, the Labour and Conservative people. So this is what you're seeing now, is the new list of action from the day.
Yeah. Right, so, okay, happy with that, yeah? Agenda 9 is the internal audit report. The note the internal audit report originally presented to the Governance Committee on the 6th of January. Yeah, the audit report went to governance. No, accepted is true. We all accept that. It's true. Yes. Yes.
I just add one thing. I think it was. I think it was Denise, wasn't it? Councillor Nicholson raised a bit about the internal audit, and I said that, I'd ask him if he could come along. And he would certainly be coming along to the governance committee when we present the final accounts and all the accounting statements that have got to go off to the external audit. Well, that's been confirmed.
Agenda 10, decision report, budget and precept for 2026-27. To resolve and agree the council budget and precept for the 2026-27 financial year.
For those councillors, we had a governance committee meeting which agreed the figures as per the report which I've issued in advance of tonight's meeting. But I would like, if I can, which is why I didn't give the update in an earlier agenda item, at the Environment Committee. The Environment Committee recommended the governance, and governance agreed last week, the partnership budget for next year, which was 306,000. But they also asked that there be an additional weed management site. We pay for 2 extra weed management cycles between May and August, and it was asked, could we get a third one at no cost to the council by looking at the budgets themselves. The reason I haven't been able to issue a report on this is that just these figures have come in the last day or so, which is why it's been presented the way it is. But we've looked at this year's probable figure, we've looked at next year's budget, and the upshot of the discussions, and they don't materially affect what the end outcome is. But we are going to, because of, staff vacancies, non-use of the contingency budget for agency staff, we've been able to make an £18,000 saving on this year's budget. Next year, we can make an ongoing saving of 5,000. So that's over the 2 financial years, we're going to be saving 23,000 on the figures that you've already been presented with over the last week. An additional weed management cycle is 17,000. So if you wish, we can use the savings from this year, some savings from next year, still introduce a third weed management cycle and save £6,000 over the 2 years. So the budget position on balances that we gave you last week of 1.1 million, that isn't affected at all. If anything, it's just increased by £6,000. Because of the lateness, I went through it with Councillor Johnston earlier today, and I took the appropriate questions. But if anybody else has got questions about it, please ask. What it will do, if you do agree to it, it will allow you to see the effectiveness of that third weed management cycle, and then we can just discuss it this time next year. Is it effective? Should we try to do it again, or what have you? So it's basically with money that wasn't identified just over a week ago, but in working with the county council, we've come up with contractual savings on how we pay people and things like that, and this has resulted in the being able to produce this option for you tonight.
Any comments?
I just think if we're, we are introducing a third weed management, and it is a good thing because, we all know we've all had complaints from all our wards and what's gone on in the past. Just that it being managed really closely, monitored really closely. Don't wait until the end of it and let's all say, oh, well, it didn't work, they didn't do the job. Let's monitor it within our wards and feedback as it's not happening, because we don't want to outlay that cost and then find that we're in the same position we were in the past where it hadn't been done and we lost the money.
Yeah. I think as well, we had a lot of rain as well that washed the weed killer away down the drains, because it said they had to have weeds shown before they sprayed them, because it's a different type of weed killer, So I think we lost a lot of that weed killer down the drains. Councillor Peart. Yeah, exactly.
Did they not say that they had massive issues with mechanical, all of the sweepers and everything like that? They had 4 sweepers and they were down to 1 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So did that actually carry out that too?
Yeah, we actually got slightly more days because they did it used a more manual approach to it, ripping the weeds out, using different equipment. But we actually got more work from the. We pay for the 2 officers, May and August, but we actually got some poor staff as well, because in periods of dry weather they couldn't cut the grass so regularly. So they actually helped out. So we actually ended up getting more days from the county council than we actually paid. But hopefully this year we'll have all the machinery working and everything on again.
Yeah, so I'm saying as long as we pay for that service and we're gonna get it, and I get where you're coming from about manual workers, but at the end of the day, it's not our problem if NCC's sweepers or weed whackers didn't work, you know, and
Yeah.
we pay for a service, you know.
I mean, we do get some figures from the county council each week about how many staff are being deployed on the cleansing side, you know, the litter bin collection.
Yeah.
And on the weed management side, so we can mark on our graph that we've got, you know, one week because the other one's on holiday, but we've got, you know, two the next, and so on. So we do monitor it that way. Plus, we've just been looking this week. We have come up with another way of, when we're monitoring the cleanliness of the streets, we're going to split it down even further between, you know, pop bottles and cigarette packets being left in the gutters to actually weeds as well. So that's any reference to Albury.
The cavalry's coming for
But yes, we're now going to split the monitoring of the environmental stuff that we do over a number of different areas as well. So weed management will be a particular performance level as well.
Yeah, Councillor Jones first.
Yeah, it was just to obviously reassure Councillor Nicholson, obviously when we have the partnership board meetings, that obviously you're now gonna be on, so you'll see them in the future. Certainly in the summer, that the weeds was a massive issue that we were talking to them about, and came up again last time, and we did talk it through with the county council officers quite heavily, and I think it was really good to see those conversations because when we came back the next time, they put extra man hours into it, given what we'd said at the first meeting, and we'd still complained about obviously the weeds, and it was obviously it was disheartening to hear we were still having issues because they knew how many extra hours they put into it, and to put it into kind of perspective, because of how large Blythe is, it actually takes the council officers 3.5 weeks to go from one side of Blythe to the other side of Blythe with the weeding. So by the time you got to the other side, the weeds are already growing at that side. So I think it's one of those issues that, depending on the weather, it's really hard to maintain, and hopefully going into next year, given the conversations we've had this year, they'll be able to kind of judge it a little bit better, and obviously, like you'll see next time, and we'll be able to keep on them. And I think that's the main thing for all of us, that if the partnership's going to work, we need to be having those conversations. And certainly compared to a couple of years ago, it is better now that we're having those, and hopefully we can continue.
Yeah. Did you have your hand up before?
I mean, yes. It's, with regard to the weeds, I mean, I watch them. I go out for a walk, I'm walking every day, and I mean, Blythe, it was just like a jungle this last summer. It was absolutely shocking. And then they came along with those they cut the weeds. They didn't take the weeds out. They went along with this, like, I don't know what you call it, mechanical thing, which just cut the tops off them. They come back twice as big the following year because the roots are still there. They were not putting any weed killer down. And I said it to the lads, I says, is that all you're going to do? He looked at me. Yes, I said, they'll be back next year and they'll be bigger. And even more, it'll be more difficult to kill them all. And he didn't respond. So I hope this year that they're not going to go with a little strimmer and just we've done a wonderful job. No, they haven't. I mean, anybody could have done that with it. And the second thing was, I think I've raised it before, is they put the weed killer around the trees. And you can tell it's the trees are starting to die at the bottom. So I'll never know why they kind of use that strimmer that they're strimming to strim around the trees rather than strim the weeds on the street.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And then I think, Mr. Mayor, your allowance would be able to increase this year with all the surplus money we've got, okay?
Right, we had councillor Nisbet and then we had councillor Carr as well.
I just wanted to refer back to what Mark was saying about you know, with the machine comes off the road or something like that. Is it still the same that if there's a failure in it, there is money set given back to the council at the end of the year of the partnership?
If
If it's underspent because of these problems, so by the end of the partnership, we do receive money back.
if some charges are a direct pass through,
Yeah,
other ones are more variable on if they're used or not. So it depends on what aspect of transport we're talking about, but it's not necessarily the case. It depends on finance charges, leasing charges. But certainly if a vehicle's not on, we may still have to pay the leasing charge, but we'll have to pay the fuel and ongoing costs like that. But, so it's not a case on each.
And the maintenance is all involved in the price as well, accordingly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just,
You know,
I must have assumed, yeah, right.
so cannibalising one vehicle to fix the other one would have been the best bet.
Mhm.
Councillor Carr.
You can always predict, Chair, that there's always going to be a report of a broken down machine.
Mhm.
Or we can always predict that there's going to be the wrong way of dealing with the weeds. That's always the issue. What's the one thing that they can never predict? And last year we had the best summer is the weather. Unfortunately, the weather is always going to be the biggest factor for the weeds. So that's why I'm more than happy to say, give the guys that extra week to say, we've had bad weather, we've had rain, we've had amazing sunshine, there's that extra week, here's the funding for it, get around all the streets, because it takes them 3.5 weeks for coming over go, and I'm more than happy to support it, Chair.
Yeah. Malcolm.
Well, I think before I move into the next bit, I would, because the members are going to have to vote on this particular one, because it's a change to the budget. But I would say that the figures that are on the table within this report, the only things that would change would be that the net budget for next year would go up 12,000, and it would be met by an increase in reserves of 12,000. But you know that we're going to add an extra 18 this year. The precept wouldn't change at all. We're not suggesting any change in that, so it's added in the table. That's all I need to say, unless there's any questions.
Dave, do we vote on this one, or do we just agree?
You have to vote on, if members are going to have to vote on, do they want to increase the previously agreed environment budget to increase it by £12,000 to allow this extra weed management site off. And then once you've done that, then you're going to have to vote on, do you agree with the recommendation of the precept in the council tax fund? As it's been through goodness.
Like you said. We vote, do we vote on the first one?
Well, I couldn't propose it.
So who's going to be?
You going to have to propose it.
Okay.
We accept the new budget.
I'll second the environment budget.
Okay. Do we all agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the second one?
It's to agree the precept, which incorporates the 2% increase from this year.
Okay. We agree the precept, which has a 2% increase for 25, 26. Do we agree?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Item 11, let's move on to agenda 11, council policies. 11.1, the standing orders with inclusion of 3I and 4B as agreed in the meeting. Do we agree on the standing orders? Great.
If I could ask the council to clarify, on 3I, they have a choice. The council may choose, at present, the standing orders state a council person shall raise their hand when requesting to speak and stand when speaking, except when a person has a disability or is likely to suffer from discomfort. There's an alternative version which is permissible, which is a person shall stand when requesting to speak and when speaking, except when a person has a disability or is likely to suffer discomfort. In the past, the chair has requested members stand, and I just thought this was an opportunity for council to reach an agreement on this, moving forward.
Do we use the hand up, stand up on full council meetings and leave the rest to just hand up and comment?
Yeah.
Would you agree on that one?
Totally agree.
Can I just clarify, obviously, yeah, when, obviously, a lot of us put our hands up at the same time, so we are saying hands up, and then when you're called upon, stand up,
Yeah.
rather than, yeah, stand up when you want to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I just-
You're thinking about picking up and down.
Or do we just leave this to full council meetings?
Just for council meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or unless whoever's chairing the meeting, they decide which way they want to conduct the meeting.
I think it's more formal for a council meeting.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's better. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to be the buzzkill, but I just can't see the relevance of standing up. Personally speaking, I mean, yes, respectfully and all the rest of it, but the size of this room, we can all see each other. I just can't see the point of standing
Yeah,
up.
when I first started doing meetings, some of the meetings got out of control and lasted a little bit too long, And I think the hand up, stand up, it sort of gives a little bit of control over a meeting.
Yeah.
It's not like you talk from one bit of the table to the next. And that's all I'm thinking of,
Between respect.
Right.
Yeah, and just going on what Tracy was saying, obviously it's a visual thing as well. So if somebody's standing up, it's a reminder to other councillors not to interrupt while that person's speaking.
Yeah, I agree.
So it just gets that in place. It's a visual
Yeah.
thing as well as an audio thing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why.
People don't jump in.
Yeah.
Can I also just say as well,
Like you.
I think I'm only speaking for myself, but when I'm sitting down, I feel a bit more confident.
Right.
When I'm standing up, I probably won't.
If that's a confidence.
So like, how would that, I don't want to like kind of,
No, but if that's a
You know what I mean,
confidence thing, I'm fine with that if you want to remain seated on that one.
I just don't want to
you
be
know.
disrespectful and be the
No,
only one that
no,
doesn't do that.
You've explained it, you didn't really have to explain it, but, no, I would agree on that if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think it's about respect at the end of the day and respecting your wishes as well, because if you can't stand for any reason, then fair enough. But as long as it's said to the chair beforehand,
Yeah,
I think that's the way you get around it.
That's what Councillor Jones.
I was just gonna agree, obviously, the statement says is likely to, the person's likely to suffer discomfort, as if you, like, councillors, so you don't have to explain why.
Yeah.
If you would prefer, you saw it in the full council meeting yesterday, there was many, at the county council, there was many people
Yeah.
who didn't stand up. So, and that's exactly the same here, and I think, let's say for full council meetings, it brings that formality and allows people to feel like they can say what they want without being interrupted. This is quite an informal setting sometimes, and it's really easy for everyone to speak over each other.
Yes.
For other meetings, we don't have as many councillors, so it's a lot easier to keep that control, whereas when you've got 16 of us in the same room, it can go on a bit, so I think absolutely, we completely agree.
Thank you. Do we all agree on that one then?
Yes.
Thank you. Move on to 11.2, the data protection policy. Denise, did you have something on that one? The data protection policy? No?
I just like to say that,
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll just pick some of them after, but if we're going to move on, thank you.
right, so, subject access requests is being mentioned on there. They're also known as right of access requests as well. So I think, I'm not saying we should necessarily change the word, but just for understanding that if somebody asks for a right of access request, it means exactly the same thing. And just to make officers aware of that.
Was that the policy or do we change the policy?
there will be a separate subject access request policy developed. Your recommendations about making clear there is alternative wording can be put in for that. Is that helpful?
You know, I think it's been mentioned before, it was something that was brought in by the DWP when I was working there in 2020. So a lot of people now regard subject access request as being the right of access request.
Yeah, so. Didn't agree on it. Didn't agree in the standing order. All days.
There was two aspects of a stand order. Same again, with your constituent members.
Oh, right. Yeah, active as well, but
Because that,
yeah.
we want you to make a choice.
On the standing orders, 4V, it was about substituting on a committee, if somebody can't attend. Do we agree that a substitute could be brought in on committee meetings? Agree. Agree. Data protection one. Where do we start here?
I think, Hannah is going to revisit that and, clarify and strengthen the point that David's raised. And I think with that in mind, I think the PNP will agree the policy.
Right. But do we agree the policy now?
With the amendments that, on the
Right.
proviso that Hannah.
Yes.
Okay, do we agree to adopt the policy and then with the recommendations added later?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Sisters 11.2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, 11.3, freedom of information policy. We've got any comments on the freedom of information policy? Yes.
Yeah, freedom of information, down, not applicable for public conveniences. Just wondering, why? Why do we not have that information available?
Lynn,
Because the public convenience don't belong to the town council, they belong to the county council.
Same people.
any more on this one? No, so do we agree the freedom of information policy? Agree. Brilliant. The IT policy, that one's been looked at and we're gonna retract that one until another date. On 11.5, which is the risk management one. Do we agree on the risk management? Or any comments on that one? No comments? No. Do we agree on it? Agree. Right, 11.6, the investment strategy. There is amendments on that one. Denise, do you want to bring that one up?
Might as well start now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just try and keep this short because, when I read through the policy, I just identified some areas where we could, acknowledge, it a little bit stronger, of the asset limitations and tighter control, tighter risk controls and to clear the liquidity safeguards. So I have sent Malcolm an email. Everybody's welcome to see that email if they wish to do so, with some, 6 suggestions on how we can improve on that policy. And Malcolm's had a look at them and kindly agreed that yes, because they're not really amendments as such, they're just strengthening that policy up. And he has agreed that he can, incorporate 5 of those without issue, but one of them would require a motion to come back to full council. But if we agree on that today, the policy today, that motion can come consequently after that.
Anybody else?
I would prefer to see what they are before agreeing, if that's okay, just because obviously otherwise we're kind of agreeing something. I know you said they're fine, but technically we'd be agreeing wording that we haven't seen, sort of.
But it's not being changed now, we're agreeing on Malcolm's.
You said there's 5 that would be agreeing today and 1 that would come back as a motion. If no one else wants to see them and you're happy to pass them over, I'm happy to read them. I don't want to be awkward, I'm sorry. We can always come back to that point and I'll bring it up. Thank you.
Councillor Nicholson says, I mean, when, you know, came in and, you know, what we did for this one, some of the guidance we get are from national bodies and associations that encourage all local authorities of this type, parish and town councils, to implement their own stand orders and things like this. And these wordings were template that we use. But what Denise has forwarded actually is a better way of strengthening some of the policies within it. And, you know, just pleased for, you know, the fact that Denise sent them in, and as I say, the only one that we couldn't do was with regard to investment income, which has really got to come through the governance committee and have a chat about it.
Yes, thanks goes out to you for looking at this and debug, you know.
It's like I say, it's not really changes, it's just strengthening, you know.
Yeah. When we move on to the mayoral handbook and then come back at 11.6.
We can I just think, I mean, not agree that the policy as it stands with the amendment,
Well,
takes it forward.
I think that's
Galen wants to just have a quick look.
Just need 2 minutes.
yeah.
Like you can go on to the.
Okay. I'll go on
You're
to,
happy to do that?
yeah, I'll move on to 11.7, the mayoral handbook. Do we all agree that the mayoral handbook is what it is, and it's, you know, do we agree on it?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. there's a key.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Councillor Jones, would you like to ask any questions on that, please?
No, don't need any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So do we agree that the investment strategy policy it goes ahead and we'll get the amendments put on? Possible. If we all agree, great, thank you very much. The date of the next meeting of full council will be held on Thursday, 14th of May, 2026 in the Chamber Arms Aberdeen House. Public question time will start at 6 p.m. and council will commence directly afterwards.